don't have anything in common, do we? I mean, we don't like the same food, veal. I think that's really cruel. Do you like it because it's cruel? We don't like the same people, music.
Was it more attractive if you please step forward?
It's gonna cost you $100.
Let's make it $200.
That's a clip from this weekend's new movie, Arthur. And the original movie 30 years ago.
30 years.
Starring Dudley Moore.
Now you feel old.
Oh, ay caramba.
Our movie guy, Eyre is here to talk about this remake and 4 other movies in West Michigan theaters this weekend.
Yes.
So this is the big buzz.
This is the big buzz, getting a lot of attention, getting a lot of push from the marketing and PR campaigns. It's actually one of 2 remakes this weekend. Arthur is Russell Brand, Helen Mirren, Jennifer Garner. It's basically about a drunken playboy who needs to marry a certain girl to continue his fortune. Otherwise, his family is going to cut him off from the fortune. So Jennifer Garner's that girl that he's supposed to marry. But as in the original 1981 version, there's a different girl that he kind of falls in love with. So
is he crazy?
He's
Jennifer Garner.
well, she's a little crazy in this movie, so maybe it makes it a little more obvious.
Maybe
but
I should see it.
Greta Gerwig plays his love interest. Helen Mirren is the nanny, his caretaker, if you will, and Russell Brand is basically the new version of Dudley Moore for those that didn't see it back in 1981.
Yeah, huge push on this. He was on American Idol last night, you know, kind of doing all the interview rounds, interviewing on a popular show today, and so I don't know. What do you think, Dudley Moore, Russell Brand?
Now, I've listened to you in the past, and usually when there's a big push, that's maybe a negative?
Yeah, maybe a negative. Basically, the consensus from the critics on this one is it's an unnecessary remake. Didn't need to be remade. Is kind of the consensus. The critics are giving it less than 5, and the fans are giving it a little better than 5. So it's kind of out of 10. So it's kind of a mediocre. Be aware if you go to see this one. Don't keep your expectations too high.
DVD, maybe wait.
Maybe DVD. Yeah, maybe wait for release. So that one. The original did really well. It was made for $7 million. It made like $95 million. So that one did well. I don't think this one will make that kind of money.
That's pretty good.
Well, there's so much to pick from, actually, now.
Right.
You're talking about 5 different movies being out in theaters to choose from this weekend?
Right. So Arthur will compete with a couple other movies, including Soul Surfer, which is Helen Hunt, Dennis Quaid, Anna Sophia Robb. If you remember the story about the girl who lost her arm in the shark attack, the surfer girl, that's what this movie's about. It's kind of a Hollywood version of that story and the triumph of losing her arm.
I think this could do really well, especially with the younger generation.
It could do well, and kind of like 127 Hours, you do have a scene of losing an arm, so there will be a graphic scene. That's why it does have a little bit harder rating.
It's amazing. You know, I was kind of reading up on it in your story. It's what you win the national championship, surfing championship, a year after. That's quite. And
this was all shot on location in Hawaii. So if for nothing else, it's pretty picturesque.
It's a spring break movie, right?
And Helen Hunt. I haven't heard her in a movie in ages. I mean, we have a special connection because she was in the movie Twister. So.
Right. And you put yourself in that movie with her.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He wishes.
Yeah.
What else do we have in theaters?
Well, we also have Your Highness, which will probably compete with Arthur for the #2 spot this week. This is a rated R comedy. Danny McBride, James Franco, Zooey Deschanel, and Natalie Portman. This is kind of about a guy whose his bride is kidnapped by the evil guy, and he brings his brother, played by Danny McBride, along. He's kind of a crazy, not very good guy, and just doesn't really do a lot of help on this crusade to go find his bride.
It looked, I checked out the trailer, it looked quite funny, but adult funny.
Right, it's definitely, it's an R-rated movie, so it's definitely adult funny. You know, you've got some scenes that are definitely more adult. And again, this one also not getting great reviews, about 5, kind of in the middle of the road. Some people really liked it, they were surprised it was better, some people really disappointed by it. So kind of just temper your expectations on this one as well.
Yeah, interesting to see Natalie Portman in it, you know, off that big Oscar win, and in something like that. The bar seems to go up a lot for her, but she probably made this before.
Yeah, and you know, you've got a pretty good cast here, pretty good names, and the consensus is that kind of wasted talent on this movie. So.
Okay.
So those are 3 of the temporary expectations for. There's 2 this weekend to maybe have some good expectations for. One of those is Hanna, with Saoirse Ronan, Cate Blanchett, and Eric Bana. Basically, this is about a girl who has been trained as an assassin by her father since she was a little girl, and he sets her out on an expedition to across Europe to kind of take down the people that have kind of set them up. I don't want to give the plot away too much here. PG-13. This one's actually getting pretty good reviews. Kate Blanchett, you know, she's a really good actress.
Great.
Eric Bana's good, and Saoirse Ronan. Pretty much everything she's done. If you saw her in Lovely Bones, really good actress for her age. Can pull off some pretty heavy material here. So the one thing is that this is playing at pretty much every theater in West Michigan except for Mount Pleasant this weekend.
Okay.
Intriguing.
Critics and fans are giving it about 7.5 out of 5. So,
okay.
So probably see it if you're interested in the premise. Go see it.
All right, one more to talk about, and this was the other remake that you were referring to at the beginning of your segment.
Jane Eyre. This is, by my count, at least the 5th time that Charlotte Bronte's story of Jane Eyre has been remade. Of course, there's the classic that was with Orson Welles back in 1946.
And how did they do it differently?
Right. I mean, it's pretty much the same story. It's a young governess who, if you know your Victorian history, is somebody who is there to teach the children, not a nanny, but more of a teacher, because sometimes out in the middle of where the homes are, there were no schools around, so they're kind of in-house to teach the children. Anyway, so Mia Masakawa and Michael Fassbender kind of develop a romance here, and he has some kind of a dark secret that kind of is hinted at throughout, so there may be some dark secret looming here.
Okay, so another take on a really great classic.
Right, and this one is actually getting pretty decent reviews. So if you're going to go see one of the remakes, probably see that one. And that one's only at Celebration North this weekend, but it will expand over the next couple weeks.
Okay, all right, so to get more information on the movies you just talked about and in the future, or maybe how you weighed in on some past ones, Laugh at the Movies?
Absolutely. Also on Twitter.
Your blog,
Facebook.
woodtv.com, Facebook, Twitter, where else? He's all over the place. Thanks, Aaron. We always appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend.
All right. We'll be right back.